Good evening. I'm David Swotek, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. The Husker men's basketball team has a road game tomorrow against the Maryland Terrapins. Husker men's basketball head coach Fred Hoiberg discusses what he wants his team to focus on for the road game.
We weren't very good against Iowa in that regard, and we were unbelievable against Kansas State. And, it's funny how it works out. You get an unbelievable road win against a team in a hostile environment, and then you get your butt handed to you when you don't do those things. You say little things, but it's actually a huge thing. So, our guys have been better since that game, but it's been in our home arena. And Ohio State, when we hit that adversity in the first half to get down 9, I thought our guys talked their way out of it. And, the next thing you know, we got a 8 or 9 point lead at halftime. So, we're certainly capable of doing it. We just got to be willing to do it. And it's got to be a full 40-minute commitment. It can't be for 30. We've done that on the road. We've played 30-minute games, and it's not good enough. You got to play a complete 40-minute game if you want to walk away with a Big Ten road win.
Coming up in the show, we will hear more from head coach Fred Hoiberg. The Australian Open is coming to a close soon, and the finals are set in stone. On the men's side, it'll be Italian Jannik Sinner and Russian Daniil Medvedev, with no Novak Djokovic to continue his streak after losing in the semifinal. For the women's side, it'll be Chinese Qinwen Zhang and Belarusian Arina Sabalenka. Both matches will occur tomorrow in Melbourne, Australia. Finally, not a busy day for college hoops, but on the men's side, we have number 13 Wisconsin matched up against Michigan State tonight. That tip-off is set for 7 p.m. The Badgers have won 8 of their last 9 games, but the Spartans have won their last 3 games, making the game tonight very interesting. And on the women's side, number 3 Colorado is facing number 25 Oregon State, and number 2 UCLA is hosting against Washington. Both matchups there are set to start for some late-night action at 9 p.m. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student-athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit the 1890nebraska.com. Coming up next is the first hour of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
It's Williams, a drop step, reverse layup with a left hand, and Mast is just dissecting Edey early in this game.
Deep left wing, Chad Shelley to take the lead. You betcha! Shelley bombed a triple from the left wing, and a big red lead at 36-34.
On the right side to Hoiberg, right to left, top of the circle, reverses it off the floor. CJ, 3 is good! Got it! Bang! All right! CJ Wilcher is on fire!
Goes off the bounce, goes behind her back, works foul line, Potts for 3, top of the key. You betcha! Natalie Potts, the Big Ten freshman of the week with a triple.
15 on the shot clock. Now he comes to the left side after spinning away from Barry. High post on a pop out to Mass. 9 on the shot clock. The handoff on the shot by Tominaga. Got it! Got it! Bang! 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 They say Tominaga!
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Here we are with a Friday night edition of Sports On. I hope you had a great week. Hope you're ready for a big weekend. A lot of Husker sports will be taking place over the next 48 hours. And we have a full buffet of Husker sports tonight. We're going to hear from Fred Hoiberg, so we're going to talk men's basketball. We're going to hear from one of your favorite guys in this recruiting class, Jake Peters.
Yes.
So a little Husker football. Alexis Markowski, so Husker women's basketball. And Drew Christo, Husker baseball. First official practice today. How about that? That's a wide swath right there.
That's kind of these next couple months, what the shows are going to look like probably. Because it's crossover season. We've got a lot of sports in action. So, but I love that. I love when we're talking a lot of different sports.
We'll keep our eye on wrestling. They start at 7 against Northwestern in North Chicago. So about an hour away from that. We'll keep you up to date on what's going on that. We have women's gym at home over the weekend on Saturday at 3. You're on the call and then on BTN Plus.
Yes, and it should be a great matchup. Michigan is once again one of the top teams in the country, one of the best. They're the defending Big Ten champs, but boy, the Nebraska women came off a really impressive showing last week. They put up season high scores in all 4 events, had some personal bests, and I think they're starting to get some confidence, and this is a big one. This is certainly a big one, and the thing about gymnastics too, it's not just like, oh, if you match up head to head, you lost this match, whatever. It's all about like you're building your scores and your cumulative scores. So just because you might lose like your score, it's still important to put together a good score to continue to show the kind of numbers that you can put up as a team in regards to the postseason. So it's less about the head-to-head matchup in gymnastics and more about continuing to build those scores. And so certainly they would like to build off of what they did last week because it was certainly impressive.
Now, having said that, in the Husker gymnastics room, I know they want to beat Michigan.
Oh,
That's their rival. In that sport, that's the big rival for Nebraska is Michigan.
Absolutely. No, I mean, there's no doubt about it. They want to go in and they want to win. They want to put up a better score. But I'm just saying in terms of the big picture, with gymnastics, it's less about your win-loss record than it is with other sports and more about how those scores continue to build.
Yeah.
So, and they did put up a great number last week,
They
so
did.
continuing to build off of that is the key.
So it was Illinois last week, Michigan tomorrow, one of the perennial powers, not only in the Big Ten, but in the country for women's gymnastics. So that'll be fun tomorrow. All right, news from Fred Hoiberg today before the team left to fly to Maryland. No Juwan Gary again tomorrow. He's out.
Not surprising, I don't think, and I think they can be cautious with him and bring him along. They performed pretty well without him the 2 games, so don't push anything. And we heard the same thing with Rink. We've heard the same thing with Casey throughout this. They've got a deep enough bench. They have some guys stepping up that are rising to the challenge that you don't have to push anybody to come back and risk. It's a long season. We were talking about that. We're halfway through, but a lot to play for still on the line. You're going to need Juwan Gary down the road. So I don't think they're going to be very, very cautious with him, especially a guy, he's been pretty injury prone, right? And so I don't think it's a guy that they really want to push and risk further injury. So, but hey, do what you did Rink Mass, do what you did last time out, and Josiah Alex has stepped up big, and so that's the mentality of this team, next man up. So they've got to be able to perform without him.
You mentioned the biggest thing. They're 2-0 without him.
Yeah.
So, again, those are both at home. It's different home and road. I get all that. But, yeah, there's 11 games left in the regular season. So you want to have him for that stretch run. Make sure he's close to 100% before you go out. We're going to hear more from the coach. He did meet with the media before they left today. We'll play some of those clips coming up here in just a little bit. John Rothstein, who's a big national college basketball writer, tweeted out today, "We've been waiting for the Big Ten to make some decisions about the sport of basketball. We know the football schedule is out for next year with the addition of Washington and Oregon and UCLA and USC, but we've been waiting on what would the league do for basketball." Now, this is just men's, of what John's reporting, but right now the men play 20 conference games, and according to John Rothstein, they're going to keep that number the same. They're not going to go to 22 or 24. They're going to leave it at 20, which would leave you 11 non-conference games. As far as the tournament, according to John Rothstein, next year the league goes to 18 teams. Jessica, they're going to take 15 to the postseason tournament. So there'll be 3 teams that will be left at home that will not qualify for the big tournament.
What, the number 1 overall seed gets a bye, I guess?
I think the top 9 are going to get byes, and then I think you would have 10 play 15, 11 play 14, 12 play 13.
16?
I don't know. And
make it like a full, where it's not a weird bracket.
I think they want to reward the teams that have a good year, giving them at least a round off. It would be my guess. It's what they want to do. So that's John Rothstein. It's no official announcement from the conference. But these are tough things. I thought they might even leave it at 14, which is what it currently is, and to say, sorry, 4 of you, be better.
Yeah.
Be better to get there next year.
It's just wild when you just said 18 teams.
Right?
I know that that's what's happening, but it's just still has not sunk in. 18 teams. But they needed to do that because it's already so tough with what it is. The Big Ten is it's such a grind, and it's so hard for a team to sustain throughout an entire conference season. And I think that's why sometimes maybe you see the Big Ten not compete as well in the postseason.
Right.
And when they get to the NCAA tournament, because it's such a challenge to go through a full conference and maintain your resume and trying to get a top seed. So I think that's good not to extend and make the teams play any more conference games.
So with it being at 20 for the regular season, you're going to play 17 one-offs, and then you're going to play 3 teams twice. So they're probably going to assign you, I would guess, kind of natural rivalries.
So Iowa, Wisconsin.
Maybe Minnesota,
Yeah.
or Nebraska. That would be my guess is what they will do, and you will see then everybody else one time. Now, the women, I'm waiting on the women because they have only been playing 18 conference games as opposed to 20 for the men. What do the women? I got to think the women are going to push it up to 20. I got to think they're going to do that.
Yeah, just with the TV revenue and the matchups that they probably want to have on TV, all that. I mean, just with a big, massive TV contract that's coming, and I wouldn't be surprised either.
Well, I think if you left it at 18, that would mean you would play somebody twice, just one team twice, because you play everybody else, so that'd be 17 games, and then one team twice. So I got to think that they're going to marry the two up and make them the same and both have about 20.
Kind of weird that it's not the same anyways.
Right? Why isn't it? And again, the coaches do have input. Maybe the women's coaches don't want more than 18. They've kept it at that level. But I think now with the addition of those 4, they need to go to 20.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
All right, women play tomorrow at Iowa against the Hawkeyes. They are on the road. So, but I hate this, actually, that both the men and women are gone. I mean, put one here. I don't know why that's so hard. Leave one of them in town.
Well, and another thing, too, and I noticed that I think someone texted in the other night during Trev's show about playing at the same time.
Right.
That's also...
Well, they are 2 hours apart tomorrow.
I know, but the other night it happened when it was Rutgers and...
Michigan here.
Yes.
The women played Michigan here, yeah.
And then it's going to overlap probably, especially if it's a close game. So you're missing the front half of the women's game to probably close out the end of the men's game. And so, yeah, I mean, there is a buffer. There is a window here this time, but it happens quite often.
Yeah.
That they overlap. And I know Husker fans would like to see both. I wish they would address that too. Like, keep one home, one on the road, but then also don't make them compete against each other.
Right. That's going to get harder to do with 18-team conference.
Yeah.
It's going to get harder to find enough windows to put all those games in. So that'll be fun tomorrow. So John Rothstein, again, just want to give him credit. Don't want to he feels like we stole some content and didn't give him credit, but he did put out that earlier today. Not this time when we had Trev on, but I think it was the December show. Trev mentioned that Nebraska had submitted their recommendation on what they wanted. That was their vote. Here's what we'd like to do. So I'm not surprised that some of this is leaking out and getting ready to go. All right. Everything else good?
Yeah.
Cole, you good over there?
It kind of feels weird, I guess, to be here on a Friday.
Yeah. Didn't you have a full show last Friday?
Yeah, but I guess you weren't here.
DB was here.
Damon
DB
was here.
Held it down.
Yeah. But it's still, I don't know, just...
I know. Friday nights, you kind of wish I'd like to be at a high school basketball game tonight. I think it'd be fun to be at a high school game tonight. But here we are. So we're going to make the best of it. We're going to have a little party time here tonight. I know the folks in the chat room are fired up. They always love party show Friday nights.
Friday party show. Yeah,
so,
it's been a minute.
All of that is happening. Folks, if problem gambling is burning up your money, there is a way out. Help is free and confidential for Nebraskans and their families. There's no judgment, just help. Visit lifeafterbet.com. We're back to play some clips from Fred Hoiberg's press gathering from earlier today. We'll have that for you next.
Let's face it, nothing makes you look older than you really are than thinning hair. But what if you could not only increase your hair count, but promote new hair growth without surgery, without drugs with potential side effects, and without a prescription from your doctor? Well, now you can, thanks to a breakthrough new supplement called Hair Grow, provided by New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Europe. Hair Grow is now available in the U.S. Only Hair Grow contains Tocogaya, a powerful antioxidant that has received a U.S. patent. Multiple clinical studies show Hair Grow is safe and effective in promoting new hair growth. In one study, 95% of the patients using Hair Grow saw increased hair count. Don't lose more time and more hair. Try Hair Grow today to feel and look your best. Just go to newnordicusa.com or visit Walgreens or Amazon to purchase. Look younger and feel more confident with Hair Grow by New Nordic at newnordicusa.com.
When you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. But you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
There are a lot of rates out there, and it can be tough to find the right one. Well, let's make it easy. With FNBO's special offer CD of 5.5% APY for 3 or 7 months, you can earn more, save more, and do more. That's 5.5% annual percentage yield for 3 or 7 months with a minimum deposit of $500 and an FNBO Premier checking account. Give your savings a great big boost with the Great Big Small Bank. FNBO, member FDIC.
There's no community like a Cenex community. And that's why every Cenex store is so proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, and stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping to make the wonderful places we call home the best they can be. Your local Cenex doesn't just work in your town, it lives there. The store next door, powered locally at Cenex.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. From the first bell to final exams, they are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. Throughout the year, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska and Nebraska Athletics will be honoring outstanding educators who help Nebraska's students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/teachers.
Woodhouse Place Nissan makes shopping for your next vehicle simple. Browse our inventory, apply for financing, and more from the comfort of your own home. Right now, lease a 2023 Nissan Rogue S for $199 per month for 36 months and 10,000 miles per year. With approved credit, tax, title, and license extra. $6,250 down plus first payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Discounted price based on a sale price of $28,684. $2,000 NMAC cash available towards deal for qualified customers who select standard APR rate. VIN number PC926399. Offer expires 1/31/24. See dealer for details.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
There's no community like a Cenex community. And that's why every Cenex store is so proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, and stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping to make the wonderful places we call home the best they can be. Your local Cenex doesn't just work in your town, it lives there. The store next door, powered locally at Cenex.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Back on our Friday night show, before we get to some Fred Hoiberg cuts, Michigan has made it official. As I think a lot of us projected, thought would happen. Sharon Moore, who's been their offensive coordinator, was their interim coach for those games that Harbaugh was suspended, has now been given the full-time head coaching status. Apparently a pretty popular pick in the locker room. A lot of the players were hoping that Coach Moore would be the new head football coach, and he is. So Michigan has moved on and now has their new guy. I'm not surprised by that at all.
I'm not either. I think in this day and age, too, when you're talking about losing a bunch of guys to the transfer portal, keeping that team together, he seemed to be pretty popular. Probably took on a pretty big role with, all the drama with Coach Harbaugh over the last year. So, yeah, not surprised at all. And, I guess maybe some people thought maybe they'd try to get a big splashy name hire, but in terms of what that program needs, they probably really thought about how they could keep a lot of that core. Yes, they are losing some, but they've got some young talent there, and they've recruited well over the last couple of years.
Yeah, and my guess is he'll probably keep a good chunk of the staff. He'll make a couple tweaks. Everybody does, but I think he'll keep a lot of the same assistant coaches. We've been getting a lot of reaction. I've seen it on some of the Husker boards. Would Ernest Hausman want to come back now that Harbaugh has left, but you promote more? I don't know that I would hold my breath on that. All right, Fred Hoiberg met with the media today after their practice and before they headed to the airport to fly to College Park for their matchup early tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central, 10 o'clock pregame coverage. And he was asked about this, what his perception of this Maryland team is.
Really good win, really good couple weeks for them. The Illinois win was really impressive on the road. Obviously, they're playing at an extremely high level right now, and that's a hard road game to win. And then obviously what they did to Iowa in the last game. I thought defensively they were really good, and that's when you look at their numbers, they've done a phenomenal job on the defensive end of the floor. And Jameer Young is playing at an incredibly high level right now. They've got experience with Scott, with Reese. And they've got good guard play. So it's a game we're going to have to be firing on all cylinders. We're going to have to get off to a good start. It's very important in those early games to try to come out of the gate and set the tone. And they're going to pressure. They're going to get out on us, and we have to do a good job of handling that. We have to take care of the basketball. So when you talk about keys with this team, take care of the ball, get back in transition, and rebound.
Jessica, as he mentioned, they've had some good road wins. Maryland, they won the other night at Iowa. They won a couple weeks ago at Illinois. So they're kind of finding their game. They were a big-time disappointment in November, December, but they're talented.
It's every team. It's going to be a challenge when you go on the road, and this is important. This team's got to find a way to get some confidence on the road.
Yeah,
it's just paramount that they find a way to get a win on the road to add to the resume. Yeah, it's proven you can do it at home. You got to translate some of that on the road. And so hopefully this is maybe the game that they get over in the win column, but it's certainly no easy task to go and try to knock off Maryland.
Coach was talking about some of the strengths of the Terps. Another one is they lead. They're one of the top teams in the conference in shot blocking. Reese, their big, tall center, is a good rim protector. And you think about Nebraska likes to take the ball to the basket. They like those backdoor cuts. They get a lot of shots at the rim. And here's the coach talking about that challenge from the Maryland point of view.
Yeah, we talk about that every game. We're still taking too many of them. I think we were 2 for 11 on contested shots at the rim in our last game, and we've played some really good shot blockers in the last couple weeks with Cliff and who did we play there tonight? Yeah, with Akpara, obviously a very good shot blocker, and the same thing with Reese. And the guy that's a really good shot blocker on this team is Geronimo, and he's another guy that has a lot of experience at this level, playing at Indiana. And we're going to have to be smart. Everything they do, anytime you spin, they're right there converging on the ball. So we have to play under control. And if we do that, hopefully we'll get some shots if we play smart. If not, they're going to capitalize. They're as good as any team in our league in the country of capitalizing on turnovers. And, pick sixes are death against this team. So we really have to take care of the basketball. We were much better the other night against Ohio State than we've been the previous 2 games. But that's going to be a huge key to this game if we're going to have a chance to win.
Can we just take a second for those guys that are watching on the YouTube stream? Shout out Seamus for helping us out and getting that video.
Yeah, he did. he was there on the spot and sent us the video. So I was going to say it was David, but it was Seamus that did.
You got to give credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
Seamus. Also, the SID team here, they're
great.
All world.
Aren't they?
All of them, from top to bottom.
I'm going to tell you a scary story. I'm getting way off base here. Jeff Griesch, who is our great analyst on our women's broadcast, women's basketball SID, was coming back from lunch the other day from the training table and was walking under the stadium, coming out of the academic wing, and they were kind of go back door to their elevator to go up. And so he's under the stadium, but it's wet down there. He hit some black ice, went down hard, cut his head.
Oh, my goodness.
He's okay. He's going to be on the broadcast tomorrow with Coat. But, yeah, that gives me the willies thinking about slipping on ice. I hate that stuff.
Well, and it's so deceiving. It looks just like I've kind of slipped a little bit on the sidewalk taking Sunny out to potty, and it's slick. Yeah, it's
awful.
And you said driving, it was not good.
It was not good this morning. There were a lot of wrecks around town in Lincoln today because there was that kind of freezing fog early this morning, and before it got above 32, there were multiple wrecks around Lincoln. So be careful.
But glad Greash is all right.
Yeah.
And he's not going to miss a broadcast. Because what number would that be?
Well, or over 750, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so he goes down, and then Scott Brune, who is the official photographer for Husker Athletics, was trying to help him up. And he bit it.
No.
So it was like a train
wreck. Is there video of this anywhere?
Oh, God, I wish there was.
There's got to be security footage somewhere.
There might be. Cole, work on that. All right, last thing from the coach here. C.J. Wilcher, man, has he just been dynamite for Nebraska. Yep. Instant offense off the bench and just doing so many things. Here's the coach talking about C.J. elevating his game right now.
Yeah, CJ, the thing I'm most proud of CJ and pleased with CJ is just his overall leadership. He's been so good every day setting the tone with his voice, and he has really grown into that role where last year, Griesel, Vandemel, Walker, they did a lot of that for us, and we needed somebody to step up. And CJ has probably been our most consistent in regards to being that leader, that vocal leader that we need to set the tone in practice and games. And I'm really, really proud of him for the progression he's made to get to the point he's at right now. And then obviously his play is speaking for itself right now. He's just playing with so much confidence, and it's been fun to see. Nobody puts more time in the gym than CJ, and it's always fun to see that hard work paying off.
We have talked a lot about C.J. Wilcher, and deservedly so. I mean, you want to talk about just a huge role that he's playing. He's been as big, you could argue, as big as anybody in what this team's been able to do, especially winning these last few games.
You think about some of these games recently where Nebraska, a little slow start, kind of sluggish, and all of a sudden he comes in and boom, boom, and now the run goes.
And it seems like, too, even on the nights that maybe the team haven't shot it well, he's still shot it well.
Yes.
So even in that regard, where you can still rely on him when things aren't falling from the outside, it seems like he's just, it's like I said the other night, he's shooting it so confidently, and it's the most confident I feel like we've seen C.J. Wilcher since he's been in a uniform, and I think he's embracing his role. He likes this team. That's a big part of it too, right? And a lot of these guys like playing with each other. They like being a part of this team, and so kudos to him. And I know I go back to the summer, and I talked to Derek Walker about this a little bit, but after those guys left and CJ saw the kind of leadership that they had last year and knew that it was going to be important for someone to step up in that regard. And there's a lot of experience, right? But CJ's the guy that he was here, he experienced it. He's now one of those, he's the older guy and has been here for longer than anybody, right?
3 years. This is his third year.
He was here before Jawan got here.
He and Casey came in at the same time.
Yeah. Are you sure? I thought Casey was here 1 year before. I thought CJ was here 1 year before Casey.
I'll have to look that up.
So, but either way, like they're the guys that have been around, been here, been a part of this program, and have been here when it was not really fun. And so for him to really embrace his role, he's been absolutely critical in what this team's been able to do.
Continues tomorrow, 11 o'clock tip, 10 o'clock pregame coverage here on the network. Carla says only good place for ice is in a glass with an adult beverage. Hope everybody stays safe and upright this weekend. Amen to that, Carla. All right, Woodhouse Auto Family. They are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. 402-413-2400. That's the number if you want to be a part of the program with a call or a text. When we come back, we're going to hear one of Jessica's conversations from National Signing Day back in December. We're going to go offensive line. And Jake Peters, a young guy from the state of Iowa, from the same hometown as the Husker Athletic Director. We'll have that conversation next.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Woodhouse Ford is committed to making the car buying experience better. Purchasing your next car, truck, or SUV from Woodhouse Ford is easier than ever. Shop our current inventory and offers going on now and experience the convenience of buying with Woodhouse Ford today. Save up to $4,500 off MSRP plus 1.9% APR for 60 months on a 2023 Ford Explorer Limited with approved credit. $299 doc fee due at signing. Vehicle is a retired courtesy loaner. Stock number R230491. Offer expires 1/31/2024. See dealer for details.
Central Valley Ag grain contracts provide the perfect blend of risk management, flexibility, and ease of doing business. For a limited time, register to win up to 100,000 bushels of hedged arrives with no service fees for new crop 2024 when you register and attend a CVA winter grain meeting. Visit cvacoop.com to learn more. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. From the first bell to final exams, they are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. Throughout the year, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska and Nebraska Athletics will be honoring outstanding educators who help Nebraska's students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/teachers.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunny's at Exarban, and Row House Townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Maybe your hometown celebrates long-standing Swiss traditions. Cow chip throwing. Or even classic car muscle. Everyone has a hometown, and every hometown has a festival. Cenex wants to hear about yours. That's why we're launching the Hometown Throwdown. Tell us about your fest, and it could win $100,000. Learn more at CenexHometownThrowdown.com. Cenex, powered locally.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks to help grow businesses, communities, families. A legacy of capability and technology that's made Ford F-Series America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough.
Now, get 1.9% financing for 72 months on a new 2023 Ford F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground-truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Start your next journey with Woodhouse. Our commitment extends beyond just selling cars. We offer an unparalleled car buying experience that allows you to shop and buy all online. Explore an array of new brands, makes, and models, as well as our large selection of pre-owned vehicles. And it's easy to get started today with our streamlined purchasing process online, granting you the freedom to secure your next vehicle anytime, anywhere. Discover a better way to buy with Woodhouse.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice. to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Dennis on our text line said, on walking on the ice, have you heard of the waddle? Dennis, I perfected the waddle. It's like scoring a touchdown on the ice. I shuffle along like I'm 96 years old on the ice. I'm just so afraid of it. But I've bitten it a few times, so I kind of do that. We had Trev on a couple nights ago, and he mentioned Jake Peters because they're from the same hometown, Cedar Falls, Iowa. So is Nate Lenzer, by the way, Husker men's assistant basketball coach. And Jessica on National Signing Day had a chance to catch up with Jake and talk about his commitment and then eventual signing with the Huskers.
Well, we welcome in the offensive lineman out of Cedar Falls, Iowa, Jake Peters. Thanks for joining us. Congratulations. You're officially a Husker. How does it feel that, I know this can be a process, but to have signing day here and to actually make it official, how does it all feel?
Yeah, it feels amazing to be a part of Nebraska and to officially call myself a Nebraska Husker. And I'm super excited to be a part of Coach Rule and Coach Raiola's football team.
That's awesome. Well, take us through your decision. I know that you were kind of waiting on a Power 5 offer, and then it came in, but how you landed on Nebraska, how you felt like it was the right fit for you?
Yeah, so during the summer, I was going into football camp season without really a Power 5 offer, and then Nebraska calls me and invited me to go to their camp, and so I thought that was a pretty good opportunity, and I thought I had a chance to get an offer, so I went into camp. Camped pretty well, and then really liked how Coach Raiola was coaching there and how he coaches. And then after that camp, they decided to offer me. And then obviously super excited to get offered by a place with the history that Nebraska has. And then I decided to set up an official visit the next week just so I could get to know the coaches, get to know the campus and all that stuff a lot more. So then the next week I went on my official visit there, and it just felt like home. I got to spend some time with the offensive linemen, and I'm just super pumped to be able to be around those group of guys because everybody around there talks about how close that offensive line room is. And so I'm really excited to be a part of that and just be a part of a big friendship. And it's really a family there. And so I really want to be a part of a family.
That's amazing. You know, the coaching staff has talked about how important the camps are going to be. And so for someone like you, how good is that to be able to have that opportunity to go earn an offer and to be able to maybe catch some eyes in a way that maybe you hadn't had that opportunity before?
Yeah, that was a super special opportunity. It's kind of those ones that you dream about as a kid. You go to camp, coaches really like what you did there, and then you get to go to the head coach's office and they offer you right there. I mean, that was a dream come true. And so that's super special. And it just holds true, like, to what they said. I can be an example for those kids to come to show why you want to perform well at camps and what the coaches can do for you if you perform well.
Oh, that's awesome. What did you feel like you did that caught their attention there at that camp?
I just tried to be myself. My coaches tell me to just try and be the best high school athlete that I can be. So I just tried to showcase that at that camp. And I just tried to put my best foot forward. And I think I did that. And they saw that and liked what they saw.
You know, every offensive lineman that we talk to, whether it be the guys that are already here playing for Coach Raiola or the ones that are committing to play for Coach Raiola, have mentioned that family aspect of it and how close-knit and tight-knit that group is. What does that mean to you as an offensive lineman? How important is it to have that close-knit type of feel as an offensive line group?
Yeah, that's super important. I can already feel it. Like, they had us go to one of the volleyball games after a football game, and I got to see Ben Scott and Nuri Nwili there, and I just started talking to them like I'd known them for, like, a few years. I mean, those guys are great, and I just enjoy every second I get to talk with them. And also, you can see the family aspect just with the commits right now. I mean, every Saturday I'd go to their home games, and I'd just pick up right where I left off with all the guys. I think we're probably one of the tightest classes in the country. And I think that's super attractive for other people to see just how close-knit people are, because that's what people want to be a part of. They want to be a part of a family.
Very cool. You said you like Coach Raiola and his coaching. What is it about him that you wanted to be coached by him?
Yeah, I just really love the style that he coaches with. When I first had that official visit, Ethan Piper was my player host. And I kind of asked him, like, hey, what do you think of Coach Raiola? And the first thing he's told me was he's a father figure. And just so how he takes those guys under his wing. And he really preaches that he wants his offensive line room to be a family. And how he wants their guys to always be hanging out with each other. And Coach Raiola also talks about how he wants his guys to see him as just a regular guy, too. He doesn't want him just to see him as a coach. He wants to see him as just a normal guy, too.
So you had some offers from some pretty impressive schools with high academic standards, not easy to get into whether you're playing football or not. How important is the academic aspect to you, and why is it important to you?
Yeah, that's super important to me because it sets up my future. Football only lasts a certain amount of time for everybody, no matter what level you play to. And so as long as I can just keep my academics and keep working hard in the classroom, that'll translate over onto the football field. And that's just kind of how I take everything. I just want to do everything to the best of my ability. And so that's why I work super hard in the classroom.
So your dad played college football at South Dakota, right? Was an All-American. How big of a role did he play in who you became as a football player?
He played a massive role in who I am today. I mean, not the football player on the field, but just the person I am today. I look up to him every day. He's just a humble person who had some pretty impressive accomplishments as a football player, but you wouldn't be able to tell off the field. He just carries himself super well. But also he inspired me to become a college football player. He talks about all the stories off the field that he just enjoyed being a part of a football team. And so I really wanted to be a part of that. And so he just was a big role model for me to play football. And he also showed me what hard work looks like. He grew up in a small town where nobody really recruited him that much. And then so he went to South Dakota and was a true freshman there. I think he was bottom of the depth chart when he got there and just put his head down and worked and worked and worked until he got his starting spot.
That's awesome. What a cool story. So he played defensive lineman, right?
Yep.
How did you become an offensive lineman then?
Yeah, I don't know. He always tells me that I have better feet than he did. And so he always would tell me that I'm going to be an offensive lineman just because of my feet. But, yeah, he was super quick as a defensive lineman, so I get a little bit of that from him too.
So did you have any choice to play football? I guess it sounds like your dad probably didn't push it on you or didn't make you play it. How'd you find your own love for it?
Yeah, I just love football ever since I was a kid. I just love playing sports. I'm a competitive person. It doesn't even have to be sports. I'm always trying to compete with people. And so I just found love for football. I love the physicality aspect of it. I love the team aspect of it. You know, football is one of those sports where not one guy can take over the game. All 11 people matter. And if one guy screws up, well, it's not going to work out very well. And so I think that's super cool to be a part of.
Very cool. So what are kind of your plans? You're going to finish out your high school basketball season, but what are some of the goals for yourself before you get here in the summer to be able to come ready to roll?
Yeah, I've already been talking with Coach Raiola about different things that I'm going to do in the off season, different drills that I'm going to be working on because they want me at center, and that's a new position for me. So I'm just going to be working on that. I just want to, like I said earlier, I want to be the best high school athlete that I can possibly be. So I'm going to work hard in basketball, and then I also throw shot and discus for track. And so that I'm looking forward to doing that as well.
So I read a cool story that your family and your sister came with you on your official visit, and she's going to Iowa. And even when she came here to Nebraska, she said it feels like home. Can you tell us that story and how much that meant to you to have your family feel like it was home too?
Yeah, that was a really cool experience. It was the first night of our official visit. We came back to the hotel after touring campus and doing all that stuff, and we just kind of all looked at each other and knew that this was home for me. My sister smiled and just said, I can understand why you like this place so much, and she knew it was right for me because we've grown up together our whole lives together, and so she knew what was right for me, and that was just a great feeling to have, is that it's going to be home.
Oh, very cool. Okay, I got some fun questions for you. Let Husker fans get to know you a little bit. Who was your favorite player or athlete growing up?
Growing up, I think my dad's a Cowboys fan. And so he would always tell me the stories of when they were going to win all those Super Bowl titles. And so Larry Allen was actually my favorite player growing up, just to see how strong he was, how good he was at the offensive line position. And so that's the guy that I love to watch.
Awesome. What's your favorite hobby outside of football?
Outside of football, I love to fish. My dad does fly fishing up in northeast Iowa. He ties flies and goes out there for 7 hours on a day. So sometimes I'll go up there and do that with him. And then we got some great rivers around here. And so I love to get out and fish.
So you're going to have to find a spot to come fishing here in Lincoln, huh?
Oh, I'll have to get those spots found.
That's awesome. Okay, favorite cereal?
Favorite cereal? I think I'll have to go with Reese's Puffs. Love those as a kid. I still have a bowl every once in a while, but yeah, those are great.
I love it. I love it. Okay. Rank these cookies, all right, from last to first. Chocolate chip, peanut butter, macadamia nut, or oatmeal raisin.
All right. So last, macadamia nut. And then after that, I'll go peanut butter. And then oatmeal raisin is going to be the second best, because my grandma makes some great oatmeal raisin cookies. And then number one's chocolate chip. It's just the basic. It's always good. So I think I'll go number one, chocolate chip.
Oh, I love it. I love it. All right, Jake Peters, appreciate your time. Congratulations once again. Can't wait to see you here on campus in Lincoln.
Appreciate you having me. Thank you.
You understand why he was one of my favorites to talk to?
He was great.
Impressive. And
really good.
The academic part of it, he's so smart. He had some incredible offers that you have to have good grades to get into. It was right after I had talked to him, I had ran into Donovan Raiola, and I said, talk to one of your guys, and he is impressive. And he said, which one? I said, Jake Peters. He goes, it's not surprising at all. So I think the way he's carried himself and handled himself from camp and then on, they're excited about him. And what a great group of offensive linemen coming in. And when you continue to build that room, that depth, and you have to build it from within, and it takes time, but they got a good group here, this freshman class coming in.
Love that group. Love that group a lot. Shane in the chat room likes the fact that he likes to fish. You got a guy who likes to fish, you're good.
You know, if you want to pass along some suggestions, you got any offers for him to go fishing, we can probably get those offers to him.
Very good. Folks, our Woodhouse Auto family, they are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. All right, back to wrap up hour one. Next.
Husker fans, if you're looking for a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding and provides flexibility, your local insurance agency is hiring. No matter your skills or interests, there are opportunities for you in the insurance industry. Explore the many ways you can use your skills to protect your community by checking out the IIAN job board. Find your calling and be a part of an industry that makes a difference. Go to iian.org/careers today.
It's being well supported by a provider who understands your health interests and goals. It's ensuring you are well connected to a team of caregivers and specialists. It's feeling well cared for by having someone you can turn to who sees you for you. That's the power of being well matched. And that's exactly what CHI Health Clinic's My Provider Match does. Meet the provider who is right for you at myprovidermatch.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. From the first bell to final exams, they are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. Throughout the year, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska and Nebraska Athletics will be honoring outstanding educators who help Nebraska's students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/teachers.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. You know, it feels like it's been forever since the women have played. I mean, I know it was a Sunday game and they play tomorrow, but this was kind of, I guess, their bye week in a way.
Yep. And Amy Williams said, you heard her say last night, that it came at a good time, and they needed this week to really focus on themselves and have a couple extra days prep for Iowa. Now, Iowa's also on their bye week, so it's not like they're playing a game and Nebraska's not, but just to have those couple extra days to get a little bit of rest on the bodies, extra day of rest on the bodies. It was a good time, she said, so hopefully they took advantage of it and are come out ready to go tomorrow.
They've played well traditionally over in Iowa City. They've shot the ball really well over there, so I think they'll compete. I mean, it's a tall task. That's a really good basketball team. Great game last night nationally between South Carolina and LSU. That was a terrific game.
Did you see that text I sent you from the Ole Miss coach?
Yeah, she's very passionate.
She went on a pretty, it was really good, but
didn't you get the feeling that she doesn't feel like they're being supported very well?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly where she's going with it. And she was talking about that game with LSU, South Carolina, the Iowa game, some of these other games, and they don't get over they don't average 5,000 fans. And I've said that so many times here, but I think it's not to be taken for granted, and I don't think our women's coaches do it all, but Ole Miss went to the Sweet 16 last year. Yeah. And they are begging people to go watch. And you think a Sweet 16 team here, I mean, people would show up and that'd be sold out for that. So it's just, it's pretty fascinating because it was on the same night that it happened with the South Carolina LSU. And I mean, I think Kevin Durant was tweeting about it. A lot of people were tuning in and watching that because that was such a great matchup.
Got your winners and losers for next hour?
I do. Yeah.
Cole said they spent all afternoon on it, so I'm going to be wowed by whatever he and David come up with.
Are they different or are they tag teaming it?
You guys better be different. Okay.
Okay.
Better be different. All right, hour one of the books. Good fun hour there. Coming up next hour, we're going to hear from Alexis Markowski. Jessica talked to her. In fact, it's a podcast that's up now. We're going to play a part of that. I'm going to sit down with Husker pitcher Drew Christo, who is now a junior. It's kind of his time to shine with this baseball program. They had their first full practice today in the Hawks Championship Center. We'll have Drew coming up in hour number 2, and those winners and losers headed your way as well. All right, big game Sunday. You got your picks? I'm going Baltimore, San Francisco. I'm boring. I'm going chalk.
I got to think about it.
David
I'll
or Cole, you
got
a pick for the Sunday football finals? That's a deep breath
Lions.
over there. You're going Lions.
I want them to win so bad.
I do too, but man, I don't know if they can win. They're a 7-point underdog.
I'll go Ravens, Lions, because that's what I want.
Yeah.
Same.
I don't want that, but I want the Chiefs, Lions, but I think the Ravens are going to win on Sunday. Should be two great games, though. All right, 1 hour in the books. We're back with hour 2. Come on back. Have some fun.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunny's at Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. From the first bell to final exams, they are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. Throughout the year, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska and Nebraska Athletics will be honoring outstanding educators who help Nebraska's students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/teachers.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Good evening. I'm David Swotek, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. The Husker men's basketball team has a road game tomorrow against the Maryland Terrapins. Husker men's basketball head coach Fred Hoiberg discusses what he wants his team to focus on for the road game.
Yeah, we were very good against Iowa in that regard, and we were unbelievable against Kansas State. And, it's funny how it works out. You get an unbelievable road win against a team in a hostile environment, and then you get your butt handed to you when you don't do those things. You say little things, but it's actually a huge thing. So, our guys have been better since that game, but it's been in our home arena. And Ohio State, when we hit that adversity in the first half to get down 9, I thought our guys talked their way out of it. And, the next thing you know, we got a 8 or 9 point lead at halftime. So, we're certainly capable of doing it. We just got to be willing to do it. And it's got to be a full 40-minute commitment. It can't be for 30. We've done that on the road. We've played 30-minute games, and it's not good enough. You got to play a complete 40-minute game if you want to walk away with a Big Ten road win.
The Australian Open is coming to a close soon, and the finals are set in stone. On the men's side will be Italian Jannik Sinner and Russian Daniil Medvedev, with no Novak Djokovic to continue his streak after losing in the semifinal. For the women's side will be Chinese Qinwen Zhang and Belarusian Arina Sabalenka. Both matches will occur tomorrow in Melbourne, Australia. Finally, not a busy day for college hoops, but on the men's side, we have number 13 with Wisconsin matched up against Michigan State tonight. That tip-off was set for 7 p.m. and started moments ago. The Badgers have won 8 of their last 9 games, but the Spartans have won their last 3 games, making the game tonight very interesting. And on the women's side, number 3 Colorado is facing number 25 Oregon State, and number 2 UCLA is hosting against Washington. Both matchups are set to start for some late-night action at 9 p.m. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Coming up next is Hour 2 of Sports Nightly, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
It's Williams, a drop step, reverse layup with a left hand, and Mast is just dissecting Edey early in this game.
Deep left wing, Chad Shelley to take the lead. You betcha! Shelley bombed a triple from the left wing and a big red lead at 36-34.
On the right side to Hoiberg, right to left, top of the circle, reverses it off the floor. CJ, 3 is good! Got it! Bang! All right! CJ Welcher is on fire!
Goes off the bounce, goes behind your back, works foul line, Potts for 3, top of the key. You betcha! Natalie Potts, the Big Ten Freshman of the Week with a triple.
15 on the shot clock after spinning away from Barry. High post on a pop out to Mass. 9 on the shot clock. The handoff on the shot by Tominaga. Got it! Got it! Bang! 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 They say Tominaga!
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
And we're back. Final hour of the night, final hour of the week of Sports Nightly. So glad you're with us here on our party show on a Friday night. We got a big hour coming up. Going to hear from Alexis Markowski, who has had a terrific season at this point, coming off a 19-rebound effort against Penn State on Sunday. That's coming your way in just a few minutes. And today was Will Bolt's first full practice with the Huskers for the baseball season. We're going to hear from Drew Christo, the junior pitcher from Elkhorn. We'll talk to Drew coming up in just a little bit. And we have winners and losers for you at the end of the hour. And if you want to be a part of the program with a call or a text, 402-413-2400. But earlier this week, Jessica debuted a new podcast about women's sports for the Huskers, and her first guest was Alexis Markowski. Here's part of that podcast.
We've talked to you a lot throughout your career here, and you've certainly been a voice that we've heard a lot from, but just kind of getting to know your backstory a little bit. And one of the things that I hadn't talked to you much about this season is just kind of going into this year and your junior season, and you got a chance to play for Team USA and go through that this summer. How did that maybe change your approach, your mindset, your confidence going into this season?
It kind of changed a lot for me. I realized that
am capable of competing with the best in the country, and kind of my future is in my hands, and how I approach every day is kind of like a professional, and just taking everything like a little more seriously than I did my first 2 years here. Just nutrition, lifting, conditioning, like doing my individual workouts, and just really realizing that all my confidence and my ability on the court comes from all of those things that I take care of myself, and just taking that all more seriously, I feel like has just helped me become an overall better basketball player and leader for this team.
How much is that just a process for an athlete? Just because, you know, you're given this talent, you're really good throughout your high school career, but realizing that if you really want to separate yourself, it's much more than just going and working extra hours in the gym, right?
Yeah, it's so much more. And I think, especially college, it is just more mental as well, and it can really take a toll. Like, the season's so long, and just with wins, losses, like, you got to bounce back really quickly. So just if you take time in those processes and trust yourself in your training, I feel like your performance on the court is just so much better.
You'd said that it showed you that you could compete with the best and it's kind of in your hands. Was there any doubt in your mind that you were at that level before you went to that? I mean, how did that, I guess, that kind of work out for you just before that, and then after that? Where did you feel like you stood, I guess, as an athlete?
Yeah, you know, for me, I really was not a very highly recruited high school athlete, or I played on a local club, Nebraska Lasers, and I loved every minute of that, but like, we weren't part of like a big circuit or anything like that. So, you know, I came into Nebraska. Obviously, this was always my dream school, and my dad had played here, and I was just really happy to be here, and I wanted to contribute in whatever way I needed to. And as a freshman, I felt like I could. I was like, I'm going to come off the bench. Like, I'm a competitor. Like, I love competing and winning, and I was like, that's just what I'm going to bring to the team. And I was like happy in the role, and it just has kept evolving, and I've just blossomed here, really. And I think it's just a whole process and learning experience. But yeah, I mean, I've definitely doubted myself. I feel like people have doubted me, and but I think just sticking with the whole process and just trusting yourself and believing in yourself, and having people like Coach Williams believe in me and my abilities has also been huge. But yeah, when I met with Coach Williams and she was like, USA wants you to try out, and I was just like in shock. I like couldn't believe it. Like, I was like, what? Like, it just was like an unreal experience, and I think I took a lot. I've learned a lot from that. I met a lot of really cool people there as well, and just to be able to try out for 4 days and meet a lot of great, amazing coaches was just really cool, and something that really changed my life.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great perspective, because not everybody comes in as a 5-star recruit, and like you were saying, and maybe doesn't have all the hype, but just that it can be a process, but not to give up on that, right? I mean, that's such a great perspective.
Yeah, no, I think it's just a mindset, like, really, like, you know, once you're given an opportunity, you have to take it, and like, you have to just dive full in, and you know, if you give everything you got, that's the best you can do. And
yeah, that's great. We had Julian Asibe and Jessica Keller in here on the Nebraska Women's Basketball Show, on the radio show, and they had talked about how, when I was asking about your rebounding, which you're one of the best rebounding, your stats are off the charts, leading the Big Ten, one of the best in the nation, lead the Big Ten in double-doubles as well. But they were talking about, Julian brought up that maybe it had something to do with your volleyball background and just the timing of all of that.
Yeah.
And maybe people forget that you did play volleyball. You were a heck of a volleyball player. Have you found now, too, that maybe that volleyball, some of the things that you learned in volleyball have applied to what you've been able to do in college at the collegiate level in the basketball regards?
Yes, I think, like, so much. Like, I love, like, I was a middle blocker, so like blocking and timing and footwork was all like key. And just like that touch at the net, like, I like to tip the ball back to myself on rebounds, and I don't think a lot of people do that, and I think that's something I learned when I was playing volleyball. So. And
you love volleyball, right?
I did. I really did love it. I thought I was going to play. My freshman year of high school, I really wanted to play college volleyball, and I just had more opportunities in basketball that summer, so decided to go with basketball. But
when you, so, you know, I think people know your story. Your dad played here, but, you know, local kid.
But at what point, do you remember, was there a time when you're like, okay, I could play college basketball and I want to play at Nebraska?
I remember when I would go to the gym with my dad, we would go to like all these like little gyms, like Madonna, like just where my mom would work out, like to go and shoot. And we would go through these workouts, and I would always like get really frustrated, and I would tell myself like, you're going to be a Nebraska women's basketball player one day, like when I was like in middle school or whatever it was. But yeah, I mean, that was always my dream. Like I always knew I wanted to play college sports at Nebraska, and for the longest time it was basketball, and now I'm doing it is just the coolest experience.
Being that your dad played here and had such a career, was that ever pressure at all, or how did he balance that, and how did you balance that, knowing, hey, I'm a daughter of a legacy, and there are certain expectations that come along with that?
Yeah, people would always come up to my dad and be like, oh my God, it's Andy Markowski, and we're like, he's really not that cool. Like, like who? Like what? Like it always is just like a joke. And I was like, I'm gonna go and break all your stats. Like I'm gonna be way better than you. Like I don't even care. Like it's just like a competitive thing. So I wouldn't really say like pressure. I mean, maybe if I was like a boy, and playing men's basketball, it'd be a little bit different. But I feel like there's enough separation. But still, like I think I have beaten all his stats, so it's fun. We like to joke about it, and he's just like the biggest supporter. Like he had a work trip in Florida and flew to Penn State and then like back home, and Ava had a game the next day. Like he just loves that I'm playing here and that we share that, and just really supports me.
What about when you, because I think it started back when you were a freshman, he had never made a three, right? And then you make a three, but then your name is already all over the Nebraska women's basketball record books. When you do give him a hard time about that, how does he take it? When you're like, hey, Dad, I've done stuff you've never done.
He can't really say anything. Like he'll be like, oh, like he won the NIT, and he's like, did you win the NIT? I'm like, shoot, like you got me there. Like I'll let you have that. But
well, you have to get to the NCAA tournament, win an NCAA tournament game, then you
win a game.
All across it. You know, you recently were able to see Jordan Hooper and get her jersey retired. You were part of the phone call when you called and told her, when Coach Williams called her and told her it was happening. What was that experience like for you, knowing like that was a player that you watched growing up, and then to kind of be a part of her being honored in the way that she was a couple weeks ago?
Congrats to Jordan, like just such an awesome person and accomplishment, and it was really fun to be a part of. You know, we had her alumni dinner before, and I got to meet all the girls, Emily, Katie, Haley Sample, Jordan, just all of them, and it was just a surreal experience. And Coach Williams, I like told her, I'm like fangirling right now. Like these are the girls I like looked up to. And Coach Williams like gave a speech and like just about like how the impact they had on me, and like that I'm kind of doing that now too. And I don't know why I got emotional. Like it just is like such a cool thing to like see, and like hopefully now I'm doing that for someone else.
You absolutely are.
And with Jordan, just the advice like she had given me, and it just was so cool. And I think the best thing about Jordan was it didn't matter her stats. Like her teammates don't really remember all of that, but just how amazing of a person she was and teammate, and she just always had a smile on her face, and that's someone who I look up to and want to be like. So
being that you were that little girl in the stands, and then now here you are chasing a lot of her records, and she wants you to break those. I mean, I talked to her, and she just is one of your biggest fans now. How does that, I guess, sink in to you, knowing that, hey, this is someone that I watched, and now I'm chasing her records, and now she wants me to beat those records?
It's so cool. Like, it really is just like a sisterhood, and just, you know, for me, it isn't really about the records and all of that. Like, I'm just playing to win, and I think Jordan was the same exact way. Like, she just did what she needed to do and what her team needed her to do, and at the end of the day, it's just about being a good teammate in person and having that positive impact on the people around you.
You know, I've done a few pieces where I've talked to little girls about who their favorite player is, and you're a name that little girls sit in the stands now and think, oh, I want to be doing that one day. Do you ever go inside Pinnacle Bank Arena and just kind of look up in the stands or take it in how, hey, I was in the stands at one point watching some of these players. I was in that spot at one point in my life.
Yeah, it's always before tip, when it's like everyone's like up on their feet cheering, and I just like look around and just try to take it all in, and just like I just always get goosebumps like right before the tip. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I am doing this, like I'm playing here, like I'm so grateful, and like I love just my teammates, my team, this program, the fans. It's just so fun. And like after every game, win or loss, I always make sure that I go out there and just interact with the fans and make sure that, you know, it's more than just about the wins and losses.
Have there been any cool stories that you've been able to interact with any of the fans or anything like that that's really stuck with you?
Yeah, a few girls have cried, and it's like so sweet. And I'm just like, I swear I'm not that cool. Like, I'm just like you, like, you know. And then I signed someone's forehead once, a few times. That's been a thing. But yeah, it's super like cute. Like my younger sisters have played AAU, and my brother does. So going to like their tournaments and stuff, just watching them play, you know, teams, just talking with them, and they're all very sweet.
When you do camps, when you coach, when you talk with teams, what are some of the things that you want to instill, portray to them as someone that now that they look up to? What are some of those words of advice that you try to pass along, or some of the things you want to instill in those young kids?
Yeah, I think it's just have fun, first of all. Just enjoy what you're doing. Enjoy the people you're with, your teammates, because I think that's the best part about basketball, in my opinion, is just the relationships that you build. Like, I'm so friends with people I played with in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
Like, I was neighbors in the suites with the girl that, her name's Katie Carpenter, and like we have played basketball since we were in 3rd grade together, and now she just goes to school here. But those relationships just mean so much. And I think also just, for me, it's just keep working, keep doing your thing. Like, you know, I feel like I've doubted myself, and I wasn't good enough as a kid, but just if you just keep working and sticking with it, and if you love it and you love what you're doing, that's the most important part.
Great conversation there with Alexis Markowski. Perfect person to start off this new series, Husker Women's Wednesday, which is powered by Emeritus. Emeritus is proud to power Husker Women's Wednesdays and all of Husker Women's Athletics. Huge shout out to Emeritus. They're a title sponsor for all of our women's sports, and they've been just a great supporter of volleyball. Now they're getting in on sponsoring women's basketball and softball, and so appreciate them sponsoring that podcast. Every Wednesday, we're going to try to bring you one of those, kind of getting it rolling off the ground here. But if you have suggestions, I've had a few that have come my way since we launched this podcast. But if there's a woman that you want to hear from, whether it be a student athlete, a coach, or a member of the staff here across all of Husker Athletics, let me know. Send those suggestions my way, and we will try to get them in the lineup. I do have a request in. I talked to Dr. Elza, Susan Elza, so she'll be back hopefully coming up. Jolene, the trainer for volleyball, that was a suggestion back when we were doing the dig, and so we're going to have her on coming up here soon. And so just kind of giving a platform every single week to the great women that are here across the board here at Nebraska Athletics.
Very cool. You know, I hope that team's excited for tomorrow. What a great opportunity.
Yeah.
I think Iowa at times has shown some warts. Yes, it would be a big upset if it happens, but man, just go play. The pressure's on Iowa to protect home court. Just go play tomorrow.
Yeah, and I think they'll get up for it.
I do too.
I really think this team, they've have shown some flashes of being a team that can really light up the scoreboard. We know that Iowa's going to do that. I also thought it was pretty fascinating, too, talking with Amy Williams about how do you slow down Caitlin Clark. A lot of times it's not about slowing her down. It's maybe slowing everybody else down.
Right.
Because Caitlin's going to get hers. But just to see that matchup, and it's going to be a fun one. Big opportunity here for Nebraska. And Iowa is coming off a loss, too. They're probably going to want to get back. They're going to be pretty fired up, too.
Yeah.
But maybe they have a hangover, too, from there and the crowd storming at Ohio State. But it should be a great matchup.
1 o'clock, 12:30 pregame coverage here on the network. You got a wrestling update for us? Caleb Smith was a winner, at 125?
Oh, and Jacob Vandy looks like he is 11 seconds away from securing. Oh, he has won in. What is it?
So is it 6-0?
He won.
Oh, major decision.
Major decision, yeah.
Okay.
Major decision there.
Huskers up to a good start up in Evanston in their duel with Northwestern tonight on the mat. We'll keep you posted as we make our way through the hour. Folks, have you heard about the putt for a Porsche? It's put on by Porsche of Omaha. you could be the next contestant of one of the remaining games if you go online and get yourself registered. Huskers.com/putt. Get a chance to go win you a Porsche. That'll be cool. All right, when we come back, we'll talk some baseball. Drew Christo, the junior right-hander for the Cornhuskers, he'll join the show next.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks to help grow businesses, communities, families. A legacy of capability and technology that's made Ford F-Series America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough.
Now, get 1.9% financing for 72 months on a new 2023 Ford F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
As a fan, you wear your jersey on your back and your heart on your sleeve. There's a place for people like you. The Cox Fan Zone. Play NFL Pick'em and Collegiate Pick'em for a chance to win a $100 Visa gift card each week, or even a $500 Visa gift card grand prize.
Hey, Husker fans, this is Greg Sharpe. Say Fan Zone in your Contour voice remote to play. Not at home? Visit Cox.com/fanzone. Go Big Red.
Maybe your hometown celebrates long-standing Swiss traditions. Cow chip throwing. Or even classic car muscle. Everyone has a hometown, and every hometown has a festival. Cenex wants to hear about yours. That's why we're launching the Hometown Throwdown. Tell us about your fest, and it could win $100,000. Learn more at CenexHometownThrowdown.com. Cenex, powered locally.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Woodhouse has got you covered for your next car, truck, or SUV. We are committed to making the car buying and owning experience better, thanks to our knowledgeable sales staff and factory certified technicians. You can discover our large inventory of new and pre-owned vehicles anytime at woodhouse.com, where we have made buying a car easier than ever. Whether you need a family hauling SUV, a car to take you around town, or a hard-working truck, Woodhouse has something for everyone.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. From the first bell to final exams, they are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. Throughout the year, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska and Nebraska Athletics will be honoring outstanding educators who help Nebraska's students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/teachers.
There's no community like a Cenex community, and that's why every Cenex store is so proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, and stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping to make the wonderful places we call home the best they can be. Your local Cenex doesn't just work in your town, it lives there. The store next door, powered locally at Cenex.
For For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks to help grow businesses, communities, families. A legacy of capability and technology that's made Ford F-Series America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough.
Now, get 1.9% financing for 72 months on a new 2023 Ford F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Big day today for Husker baseball, their first official team practice today, and delighted to be joined tonight by Drew Christo, the junior right-handed pitcher for the Cornhuskers. My goodness, where did the time go? You're already a junior. How about that? Does it feel like you've been here 3 years, Drew?
It doesn't. It feels like I just got onto campus, and now we're 3 years in, so it definitely has gone by in a flash.
I remember seeing some of your family members 2 years ago when we were down at Globe Life opening that season up, and it just goes by so fast. You, I think the coaches are expecting you, and I'm sure you have expectations for yourself to take on a bigger role this year. What was fall like, and what was getting prepared to launch this season for you?
Yeah, the fall was a really good experience for me, building off a good summer up in Alaska, baseball-wise. Was able to get up there and get some innings under my belt, and really ride that into the fall where, I had some sustained success. And so getting ready for the season, after coming off break, a lot of throwing and ramping up before we get back into team practice, which is starting today. So everybody on the team's coming in feeling healthy and feeling pretty good.
What was Alaska like? I've never been there.
It was amazing. Yeah, I mean, definitely quite the complete opposite of Nebraska. Yeah, you look around and there's mountains everywhere. There's nothing flat up there, but it was beautiful. It was about 60 and sunny every day, and the sun didn't go down until about 3 in the morning. So whatever you wanted to do, you could do it for the whole night.
Were you nervous about being that far away from home, or were you excited about that?
I was kind of excited about it. The biggest difference was definitely the time change. It's about 3-ish hours of difference. So I was waking up when my family was well on with their day, so that was kind of unique.
I bet. Last year you had some really the Omaha appearance comes to mind for me, where you were just so dominant in the end. I think it was a 4-inning stretch that you had against the Mavericks. How much confidence did you take out of that appearance?
Yeah, that was really probably my first real taste of collegiate, success and dominance, and really that was just came from drawing on a competitive attitude, and that's really the thing that I've trying to been focused on over this past year, this summer and this fall, is really reaching into that competitive spirit and using that to fuel me when I'm on the mound.
So you and the other arms on this team, you're getting used to Coach Childers now, the new pitching coach. What's that been like? How big of an adjustment has that been for you?
Coach Childers has been amazing, I think, not only for myself, but for all the other pitchers on the staff. You could definitely tell day one the wisdom that he brought into the job. And he really wasted no time implementing that into the pitcher's daily schedule, into our daily routines. And I think it'll show this season what we've been doing over the last couple of months.
When I hear him talk, Drew, I hear him talk about, I want competitive guys on the mound. What are some things he does to kind of instill that in you guys, to just ramp up that competitiveness out there on the mound?
Yeah, there's competitive settings in the pitcher's routines daily in practice. When you're throwing bullpens, you're going head-to-head with another guy, and there's stuff on the line. When we're throwing in these live settings during practices, there's this past week it was 11 minutes on the stepping stairs for at speed 11. So there's always something on the line. And then we also did this thing. It's called unification. Basically, the group of pitchers. It was some conditioning challenges that we all had to do together that really instilled a competitive level where winners were treated a little bit differently.
Well, is that okay with you? Do you kind of thrive on that?
Yeah, I do, and I think this team does. And we understand that there is a difference between winners and losers, and everyone on this team wants to be a winner. And I think that's why this team will be special, is because we're driven by that will to win.
What expectations, what goals are you putting in place for yourself for this year? Have you thought about that?
Yeah, I've thought about it, and I really didn't want to put like numbers on it or anything like that. I think for me this year, if I can accept the role that I'm given, whatever that capacity is, and really use my position on the team to, bring others along. I think whatever that role ends up being, if I can do that to the best of my ability, it'll be good for not only me but for the team. So that's really kind of an overarching goal for me, is just to embrace my role and bring others along.
We talked to Coach Bolt after fall ball was over, and your name was mentioned as one of 3 or 4 guys that he thinks will be a weekend starter for this team. Is that something that you would embrace if that's what the decision is?
100%, and that's something that I've always wanted to do. That's obviously a highly valued position, and so I would be really honored if that was my role on this team. And like Coach Bolt probably told you, we have a handful of guys that are capable of that role this year, which is exciting.
When I saw some of the scrimmages in the fall, Drew, it looked like there's just an awful lot of guys with some pretty good velo on this team. I mean, used to be if you saw a college pitcher hit 90, it was pretty rare. Now it seems like pretty much not everybody on this staff, but a good chunk number of you guys can throw 90 plus.
Yeah, and that's one thing, but it's another thing that that the emphasis is on strike throwing and having secondary pitches, which this pitching staff definitely does have. So it's an intriguing combination.
Well, you certainly have that velo. That fastball of yours can be really electric at times. What about your secondary pitches? Where is that? What do you like to throw?
Yeah, so actually this summer was a big step for me in developing off-speed pitches. I added somewhat of a slider, cutter type pitch to my arsenal, and that was probably honestly my best pitch throughout the fall. So that's been something that I've really benefited from adding over this summer. And then I also throw a changeup and a curveball as well. So that's what I'm working with for the off-speed.
How about the guys you're throwing to? Looks like Josh missed some time in the fall with some injuries. Ben Columbus looks like a pretty good guy that can receive the ball back there. What about the catchers for this team?
Yeah, Ben and Josh are both exactly what you want out of a catcher. They do their work, and they voice their opinion to the pitchers. They're getting us back into counts, if we fall behind, and they're encouraging us with their body language behind the plate. And so really throwing to either one of those guys, you're going to have a good time as a pitcher, and they don't lose anything when they go to the plate. I think, Ben from the left side and Josh from the right side, they both are some of the better hitters on the team, which is kind of unique for the catching position. Usually it's a defensive first position, but both of those guys can really impact the ball with the bat.
All right, pitchers' best friends are the people behind them, helping them out, making plays.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Tell Husker Nation, what are you seeing from the guys behind you? I mean, Dylan Carey certainly was a plus guy at third base last year. It looks like the plan is to move him to short this year. What are you seeing?
Yeah, so, starting with Dylan, as a freshman, I don't think I've ever seen anybody play a better third base than I have, in my lifetime, and he did that as a freshman. So, moving him over to shortstop, it's been a really easy transition for him. That was his natural position in high school, and he just got range and a strong arm. Caden Brumbaugh's guy played a lot at second base for us this fall. He missed the year last year with a shoulder injury, but he's really crafty middle infielder. He's got really good soft hands, and so he's been making plays up the middle, got a lot of range at second base. And then another pitcher's best friend is the center fielder. Riley Silva has been huge for us, especially on the defensive front. He's got elite speed, and so he made some plays this fall where balls were hitting to the gap that definitely shouldn't have been made, and he stole an out that would have been an extra base hit. So
you might be tipping your cap some to him.
Yeah, 100%. And so we're really strong up the middle, and then we've got guys on the corners, returning in the outfield with Gabe and Cole and Garrett. It's guys that have known how to play in Haymarket and know the park. And so defensively, it's a really strong squad that I feel confident pitching in front of.
Good. Visiting with Drew Christo here on Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network. Huskers 3 weeks out from their opener against the Baylor Bears at Globe Life down in Arlington. And today is day one of the full team practices for the Big Red. Drew, this is the second year of the pitch clock in college baseball. Was it an adjustment for you? Did you have any issues with that?
Me personally, I never really noticed it. I've always been a pitcher who likes to pitch with tempo. And really for this team, I don't think it will be an issue for us. That's one of the things that we really preach as a pitching staff is controlling the tempo of the game and being the aggressor on the mound. Since, we have the ball in our hand, we can kind of dictate that tempo. And we feel like we're at our best when we're pitching fast and when we're pitching aggressive. And so I don't see that as being an issue for anybody. I haven't seen it this fall. And I think it actually is something that will work to our advantage when we're able to push that pace onto a hitter.
It seemed like everybody made pretty good adjustments to it. We opened last year in San Diego, and I think it got called 4 or 5 times that first weekend, mostly on their pitchers, not ours. But I think everybody kind of adapted to it. Now, longtime hardline baseball people, Drew, they don't like it. They think there should not be a clock in baseball. I kind of think it's really added a positive spin to the sport.
Yeah, I like it. Personally, just as a pitcher, like I said, it keeps you on your toes and it keeps you going.
Yeah.
And when you're in the rhythm, the hitter can't really step out as much, and so it kind of benefits us. And I think the hitters, they're definitely probably the people that might have the most problem with it. But they've adapted, and there's time rules and everything with the timeouts now. So I'm personally a fan of it.
Good. All right. Your dad obviously played football here for the Cornhuskers. Was there any other option in your household growing up than to be a Husker?
I mean, not for me. For me, I always wanted to be a Cornhusker. That was the dream as a kid. And so it's pretty neat being able to live that childhood dream.
I bet. How about the schedule? There's some pretty fun games that are going to be early in the season. You excited about this?
Yeah, we're really excited. Obviously right out of the gate, being able to play, in a ballpark like that's pretty cool. I think we might actually be the first game since the World Series game on that field. So, I mean, that's super unique. And then going down to Phoenix and playing against a good team in Grand Canyon, and then over to a really cool place in Charleston. So we start the year off in some really, really cool places, and we're excited for that.
Well, you're one of the names that Husker fans are familiar with. There's a lot of new guys that are going to be taking the mound and taking the ball this spring for the Big Red. You've been working out with them for 6 months. Is there talent there? Are people going to be happy with what they see?
Yeah, I think people are going to be really happy. It's a really deep roster this year, I think. I think we have guys, from the hitting lineup perspective, I think we're 15, 16 deep on guys who can really impact the baseball offensively and have a spot on defense. And then in terms of pitching, it goes for, the similar thing can be said. We have, upwards, I think there's about 20-some arms on the team, and a lot of those guys are actively competing for roles even right now. So nothing's really defined in terms of our roles yet, just because so many guys have been so competitive throughout the fall and the early pre-session here. And I think that's really what is going to make this team the best it can be, is that there's so much competition between positions that, if you show up, you're forced to be the best version of yourself because there's a guy right behind you. And so that's something that we really like to have.
Very good. All right, this is your third time through this. What are the next couple of weeks like to get ready for the first game? How intense does it get? What is it like as a player in this system?
Yeah, I mean, this is obviously a big part of the year, because it's a pretty quick turnaround. We only got, I think, 3 weeks?
Yep.
3 weeks to the day almost to get ready, for the first game, and this is our first day of full-length practice. And so, a lot of this preparation was done before actual team practice. You really had to work over the off-season to put yourself in a good spot. But so going into the next couple weeks, it'll be, in our situation, hopefully we can get outside. That's one of the things that's different about playing in the Midwest. But we're super, super lucky. We have amazing facilities here that allow us to, run full infield, outfield drills and simulate that real-life game. So doing a lot of scrimmaging and a lot of high-intensity game repetitions to get you ready for that first weekend.
And you're playing indoors the first weekend.
Exactly.
So you don't need to see the sky.
Feel like home.
Yeah, very good. Drew, thanks for coming in. Looking forward to watching you. I think it's going to be a fun spring.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for having me.
Drew Christo with us here on Sports Night. Woodhouse Auto Family, they are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. More Sports Highlight coming up.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks to help grow businesses, communities, families. A legacy of capability and technology that's made Ford F-Series America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough.
Now, get 1.9% financing for 72 months on a new 2023 Ford F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Bananas are only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week, it's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop and count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Woodhouse Buick is bringing you more for the new year. With every new Buick purchase from Woodhouse, we're including 3 years of scheduled maintenance. Plus, with our current lease offers going on now, you'll save even more. Lease a 2023 Buick Envision Preferred for $399 a month for 39 months, 10,000 miles per year. With approved credit, $2,891 down payment and first payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Must have GM Lease Loyalty or Lease Conquest to qualify. Offer expires January 31st, 2024. See dealer for details.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunny's at Exarban, and Row House Townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks to help grow businesses, communities, families. A legacy of capability and technology that's made Ford F-Series America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough.
Now, get 1.9% financing for 72 months on a new 2023 Ford F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you Friday night. Just a little bit left for us here on our final show of the night. Boy, are the Husker Grabblers doing well up in Evanston, huh?
They're dominating. Up 20-0. Ridge Levitt just absolutely destroyed the guy that he was wrestling. That guy's on a mission. Ridge Levitt is this year.
Yes, he is. So the Huskers have had a couple of major decisions, and they've got a pin.
And they're without Peyton Robb and Brock Hardy tonight.
Right.
And still the guys that are filling in they're not missing a beat here. This Styles guy here that's wrestling at 157 is a freshman. So, just, hey, here's your opportunity.
Sure.
Make the most of it. So
Yeah.
I'd imagine that just with, we know the history of Peyton Robb, and being that it's such a long, grueling season. They've got a big one coming up on Sunday. Nash not in this lineup either. And so I think probably for them, they're letting some of these guys rest tonight and be ready to go on Sunday.
Can you see if Peyton or Brock are there?
They're there. They're
You
there.
spotted them?
Yeah, they're both on the sideline, so,
So then
they're
they
just not
could,
in uniform.
because
Yeah.
they're not coming back to Lincoln. They're just going to bus over
Yeah.
to Madison, so they could wrestle Sunday.
Yeah, I would imagine that we'd see one of them on Sunday back in the lineup. But, I think it's just such a long season and your body gets tired, and the Big Ten wrestling is no joke.
No doubt.
So I think probably just giving them a little break. And we talked about this some with Damon, and you and I have talked about this, but I think with Nash, it's so different being in wrestling shape, and he does add he certainly adds a lot to the lineup, but I think it's probably for him maybe not quite ready to do 2 duels in a weekend. Have 2 wrestle twice in one weekend, still probably working up to get that stamina going to where he can. But what is he going to wrestle in the Big Ten?
I don't know how he could do that, because you've got you have 4 or 5 matches over about a 24 to 36 hour period of time. I don't know that he's ready for that. Do you?
We'll see. I guess we'll see how it progresses, but
yeah. Well, dominant performance on the mat up in Evanston for the Cornhuskers as they are dominating the other NU in wrestling. A couple guys in the chat were asking about the pitch clock for college baseball. It's 20 seconds between pitches, and the clock starts once the pitcher receives the ball back from the catcher. That's when the clock starts. You also have a count where the batter has to be ready to bat, or if they're not, they can be given a strike for the batter. So it does affect both pitchers and batters.
that got Bryce a couple times, right? The batting?
I think it did. The one thing that was really odd last year is Nebraska was batting, Jessica, and the other team, the guy just missed beating the clock. Threw the pitch. Huskers hit a home run. Well, then the umpire's like, no pitch, clock violation, it's just a ball. I think what you should do is give your team the option.
Right.
If you hit a home run, you're like, heck
We'll
with that.
take it,
We'll
yeah.
take this.
Yeah.
It's kind of like in football, you get a flag on the defense and you go ahead and you throw a touchdown pass, you can go, I'll take that or the penalty.
Yeah, we'll decline that penalty.
Yeah. I think that they maybe can still work on some of that. All right. My favorite part of the week getting ready to come up. Winners and losers. They're on the other side. Come on back.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
We are back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Time of the week for our winners and losers of the week. Jessica, what do you got?
Well, I will start with the loser. It was all those folks that thought somebody like Matt Rule, Brian Kelly was going to Michigan.
Yeah.
Those hot takes of people putting out that they thought that they knew what was going to happen there at Michigan, and we talked a little bit about that. Like that's crazy that they would even have Matt Rule on that list. So some of those guys that try to be hot takes and get some clicks and pulled the trigger a little too soon on that Michigan coaching search.
Love it.
My winner is going to go to the Harris family. Andy Harris and his family, they welcomed in a new baby, Charlotte Rose. Andy is one of our OGs on the chat.
Nice.
And he has been around. And so he sent me a picture of him and Charlotte watching Sports Nightly the other night.
Love it.
On his TV in his garage. So I'm going to give it up to the Harrises in Phoenix, Arizona, and welcoming Charlotte Rose.
Fantastic. Good stuff. Mr. David.
Hello, hello. All right, so I'm going to start with the winner first. I think it's the Detroit Lions, in my opinion.
Love it.
Because I'm trying to think back of a time when the Detroit Lions were like elite in my life, and I hate to say it, they haven't.
They haven't been.
And one of my good friends, he's a huge Detroit Lions fan, and he's jumping for joy, so I'm happy for him and the Detroit Lions. And then for the loser, I mentioned it in the ticker, but Novak Djokovic, he has won the Australian Open 10 times, which is the record. And now instead of playing on the court, he's got to watch it in the stands, which is probably not the best for him. But yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to call him a loser as much as he's won, but it's nice to get some new blood into one of those Grand Slam finals. So it didn't hurt my feelings that Yannick Joker got knocked out in the semifinals. So good stuff. All right, Mr. Cole.
My loser for the week, and I do have a loser. I saw this headline that somebody in Wichita, Kansas cut down a statue of Jackie Robinson. It was like a bronze statue of Jackie Robinson. They cut it down and they stole it. Still missing. It was in front of a nice ballpark in Wichita.
Oh.
And so whoever did that, that's my loser.
You're a loser.
Yeah.
You are a loser. My winner is Rink.
Nice.
Gotta go with the Rink.
Nice.
Unbelievable performance Tuesday.
Unbelievable. 34 points. He could have beat anybody in horse that night. I mean, everything was going in, right?
He was throwing it in
up,
the ocean.
here,
Absolutely.
Up,
yeah.
Drop it in there. So good. He was on my list. I have to prepare. Since I go last, I have to prepare like 5 of these because you guys usually take them. My losers of the week are going to be Buffalo Bills fans. The poor kicker, Tyler Bass, misses the kick that would have tied the game with 1:30 to go. He was getting death threats the next day from fans. I mean, come on, people. He missed a kick on a windy day at a football stadium. That's from 44 yards. It wasn't like it was a chip shot. So I feel
Bills
bad for him.
fans are cuckoo.
They kind of are. I mean, they're diving on tables and stuff. And, I mean, even the big dog would probably do that too, wouldn't he?
I know. We've heard some stories from him. So wild.
That's my loser. My winner, I'm going to go Brian Callahan, the son of Bill Callahan, the former Husker football coach, got named yesterday the Tennessee Titans head coach. Brian had been the offensive coordinator with the Bengals with another Husker connection as Zach Taylor, obviously the head coach of the Bengals. So congratulations to Brian, who would have been a young pup when his dad Bill was here. And I know a lot of people don't like to hear the name Bill Callahan, but he is a heck of a football coach, and his son's obviously following in his footsteps. So congratulations to Brian Callahan, now head coach in the NFL. That's a cool deal.
We had lots of different kind of.
We did.
We can talk about a buffet. You said at the beginning, our winners and losers were buffets.
All over the place. I'm surprised nobody picked Caitlin Clark.
I thought about it.
For the
but
flop.
I thought about it, but I thought somebody else would go with that too. But I also didn't really want it because it's about safety too. I mean,
Yeah.
It was a little dramatic, but also there is a little bit of an issue there. So.
Another one of my winners on my list that I didn't have to use because nobody thought was Joel Embiid. Did you see what he did the other night?
Yeah.
70 points.
Wow.
With the Philadelphia 76ers. That's a heck of a game. 70 points. All right.
Supernovas too, by the way. Somebody, Shane said that on the chat. The way that the volleyball fans showed up for them in Omaha.
Over 11,000. Yeah. All right. Good luck on the call tomorrow.
Thanks.
Good luck to Husker basketball. Both men and women play tomorrow. The men at 11, the women at 1. Both on the road. Don't like that. Men are at Maryland. The women are at Iowa. Somebody needs to be here every weekend during the conference season. That's just my rant. Thanks to David and Nicole and all of you for listening and watching tonight on our YouTube channel. Have yourself a great weekend. Be safe out there on that black ice if you come across that in the next couple of days. We want you back here with us on Monday. Good night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunny's at Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks to help grow businesses, communities, families. A legacy of capability and technology that's made Ford F-Series America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough.
Now, get 1.9% financing for 72 months on a new 2023 Ford F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Maybe your hometown celebrates long-standing Swiss traditions. Cow chip throwing. Or even classic car muscle. Everyone has a hometown, and every hometown has a festival. Cenex wants to hear about yours. That's why we're launching the Hometown Throwdown. Tell us about your fest, and it could win $100,000.